Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over my August TBR, and August is going to be an extremely interesting reading month for me because I am going on quite the adventure here at the beginning of August. I'm taking 11 or 12 days to ride from my home state of North Carolina, and I'm riding my motorcycle all the way to Sturgis, South Dakota, which is where the largest motorcycle rally in the world happens. I think that's a true statement. So to say my reading is going to be interrupted is probably an understatement. I have no idea if I will read it all on that basically 2-week trip I'm taking. I have no idea. For obvious reasons, I don't listen to audiobooks while I'm riding my motorcycle. Seems like a bad reading experience. Seems like a great way to not be paying attention and to also miss stuff in the book. So I have no idea how much time I'm going to have off the bike to read anything. So this month is really going to be about short reads. Obviously, August is 31 days, so I'll definitely have time once I get back. But like I said, no idea if I'll get any reading done while I'm out there. I'm really going to be more focused on enjoying the beautiful scenery and kind of exploring a place I have never been before, and just kind of hanging out with friends and having a really good time. So this is going to be an interesting month. This is going to be the TBR that I might not hold to at all. Normally I'm pretty good about sticking to a TBR, but this could definitely be the month where it's like I need something completely different. But my general plan is to read a bunch of short stuff, and a lot of this is newer stuff that is coming out, at least to me. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into my general reading plans. Now, I have to start off once again by mentioning Memories of Ice. I am still at about the 50% way through Memories of Ice. I honestly haven't put any effort into reading that book recently. It's just hasn't been calling to me the way I would want it to be, which is fine. I'm not DNFing it. I've been enjoying my time with it, and I have vlog clips of myself talking about it that I can go back to if I'm starting to get fuzzy on some details. But yeah, that is one that maybe towards the end of August I'll put a little bit more effort into finishing it, but we'll see. Memories of Ice has been quite the journey, so I would like to finish it sooner than later because it's starting to get a little bit long in the tooth that it's been sitting on the TBR for so long, so it definitely needs to get done. And the other thing that may be carrying over is Neon Ghost. I'm not sure if I will actually finish this in July. If everything goes to plan, I should finish this either like August 1st or right at the end of July, so it may or may not actually be in my August reading, but we'll see. Hopefully I'll be starting that today or tomorrow, so we'll see. It'll be close on if I actually finish that in July. And now let's get to some of the new stuff. So I mentioned this in the video I made about some of my anticipated releases for the second half of 2024, and that is going to be Impact Winter Season 3. This is like an audio exclusive experience from Audible. Season 1 I really liked, Season 2 did not like, so we're going to see what happens with Season 3. Once again, this is kind of a short, I think it's only like a 7-hour audiobook or whatever, so it's short and it is something I wanted to get to. I do hope that this is good because it's a vampire story is basically the best way to explain it. There's some higher things going on, I think, at the same time, but I do think the first part of it was just so good that even though the second part let me down, I still have hope that maybe this third act will be great. So we'll see. Once again, fits into that very short category, as does the next book. This is Sanctuary by Ayanna Andrews, I'm gonna say. This is another very short one. This is another one that was in that anticipated videos, or in that anticipated reads video I did a couple weeks back. This is another very short one. I think is this the one that's only like 3 hours long? So once again, this is kind of like maybe a one sitting at night in the hotel when I'm back before I go to bed that I think maybe I can fit in. So that's the general plan on that one as well. Next up, this is the China Mieville, there we go, and Keanu Reeves book, the Book of Elsewhere. That just came out a couple of days ago, I think. So this will be another one that I'm kind of interested in seeing. I don't really have any experience with Mieville as a writer, but this seems like kind of an interesting one, and it being a new release, I don't know. I'm interested to see how this collaboration goes because Keanu Reeves does a lot of interesting things and has a lot of things going on. His hand is in a lot of like he has a motorcycle company, he obviously acts, he is super into like tactical training, he's just got so much going on. I'm just curious on what this experience will be like, and I think this might be a decent exposure to Mieville just as a writer before I maybe go into some of his more serious works. I've heard he's a very interesting and kind of out there writer, so I don't know, I don't always click with that the way I would like to. But this is a little bit of a longer book, but not everything can be super short, right? I am coming back with plenty of days left. So I think this is like a 12-ish hour audiobook. So we'll see see how long it actually takes me to do. And like once again, this is another anticipated release for me just because I think it's going to be such an interesting mix-up of two people working together. And another very short book is The Drowned Word by J.G. Ballard. This is, once again, another very short book. This is kind of a apocalyptic book. I believe it takes place in the year 2154, I believe, if I'm remembering the synopsis correctly. And basically, I think it follows that all of the ice caps and everything have melted on Earth, and humanity is kind of dealing with the ramifications there. I forget where I got this recommended from, but I got this recommended, somebody was talking about it or recommended it, and it sounded interesting enough, and it once again fits that very nice. I think this is another like 3 or 4 hour audiobook. So very, very short book there. This is an older book. I forget. This might be from the 70s, if I remember correctly. So this almost fits into my reading a classic, even though I don't think it really counts the same way. But I'm always down for some, catechism, humanity suffering from their own ignorance kind of stuff going on. It should hopefully be interesting and everything. And then the book that I am actually the most excited about, and I'm really hoping that I do get the chance to get to it here in August. And I talked about maybe buddy reading this with some people, but that is The Mercy of the Gods by James S.A. Corey. If you don't know, James S.A. Corey is Ty Frank and Daniel Abraham, and they wrote The Expanse together. The Expanse is one of my favorite science fiction series I've ever read. Time Matt's Wrath, the 8th book in that series, is my second favorite book of all time. So I have very high hopes. I have seen some early reviews for it that people are absolutely loving it. I am a little sad to hear that I think it's only planned to be a trilogy, which makes me a little sad. I was kind of hoping for a longer running series. But once again, how could I not be excited for whatever they wrote next after The Expanse? I didn't even realize they were going to continue to write together. So very, very excited on what's going on here. This is, once again, humanity is intermixed with some alien species. I don't know too much about it. I've purposely stayed kind of far away from too much information other than seeing some just like very general, like people love it kind of reviews. So once again, this will probably be something I start once I come back and kind of am ready to get back into reading from my trip. So this is probably my second or third most anticipated books, maybe behind The Fury of the Gods by John Gwynne, and obviously Stormlight 5 is my most anticipated of the year. But yeah, so this one this is probably second. This one's just behind Stormlight. It's really close. So getting to go back to an authors that I love so much is going to be great. But that is my very disjointed reading plans. If you do have any very short books, I'm talking like these can be like the shortest of novellas, short stories. If you have any good recommendations for me down in the comments, I would love to see them. Anything just to kind of give me a chance to read, but not to be so long that I'm having to give it a whole lot of attention. I'm going to be busy. So that's my general thought. I would love any recommendations that you have, but that is all for me. And let me know what your August TBR looks like also down below in the comments. And as always, have a good one.